Good morning, traders and investors. My name is Roger Scott, and I'm the senior strategist for Wealth Press. Today is Friday. It is December 10th. I can't believe that December is already a third over. New Year's 2022, here we come. The market's doing pretty good. It's actually near the high point. It was kind of lower overnight and around the world, as I'll talk about the global economy in a minute. But it looks like it's gaining a bunch of strength right now, and it's fairly broad. We took a little downslide yesterday, but that was kind of expected after seeing the market jump up like there was no tomorrow, and we'll go into the technicals in a few minutes as well. But so far, things are looking good. We may see extended volatility today. One, it's Friday. There's less traders out on Friday, so liquidity's lower. More importantly, we have consumer price index and consumer confidence. Consumer sentiment, consumer confidence, very, very similar reports because they both reflect on what consumers are doing, and consumers reflect 2/3 on the current economy. Now, the month-to-month CPI, the consensus is 0.7. If we're in this range and year over year 6.8 and 0.7, we should be okay as long as we're in this range. I'm very curious to see what ex-food and energy month-to-month and year-on-year is. But if the numbers are steady, it'll be a very good sign ahead of the Fed doing next week or tapering the bond or expecting to taper the bond buying purchases. So this indicator or this report is influential in that impact. And then you have consumer sentiment. This is not a huge report on its own, but it reflects on what consumers are thinking right now, and it can impact the consumer discretionary index. Speaking of consumer discretionary index, again, I hate to say I told you so, but remember I told you that consumer discretionary stocks are going to start taking a back seat. And I think technology will also follow along because the semiconductors are a bit overheated right now. I think consumer stocks are just a little overdone. I think with the Fed raising rates, it's going to have some impact. It's going to take some bite out of these consumer stocks. So consumer discretionary is no longer in second place. Energy is in the second place. And I believe with higher rates, energy is going to move up to the first place and technology is going to cool off. In terms of fragmentation, it's pretty fragmented right now. We've got industrial and basic material, they're out of whack. You've got utilities and consumer staples out of whack. So the market does need to move a little bit down to get stable. But I don't think we're there quite yet. And I think we're going to continue getting fragmented because the market's really, really choppy right now. And it's going to take a little time for it to consolidate, especially with the bonds, especially with this Omicron. There's just too much stuff going on right now, and volatility is just running amok. But consumer discretionary is starting to cool off, and this trend may continue into next week. So the biggest factor you want to pay attention to next week is consumer discretionary may be cooling off, and consumer staples may be heating up. Now, what's interesting, if you look at, where is my Dow stocks here? Oh, where are you? If you look at the Dow Jones, these are the strongest stocks in the Dow. You will see that it's pretty mixed, but Home Depot is the number one stock, not Apple. But you've got Apple and Microsoft and Chevron. I'm expecting Chevron, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble to start moving higher, and the Apples and the Microsofts to start cooling off a little bit. But as you can see here, we're still pretty broad-based in the index. You've got home staples or little home discretionary or consumer discretionary. You've got tech, consumer discretionary, energy, health, consumer. I don't know if McDonald's is consumer discretionary or consumer staples at this point. 50% of the people would argue it's discretionary. 50% of the people would say it's definitely part of their staple products and services. I'm just messing around. But you know, McDonald's is one of those things. People, do they want it or do they need it, right? It's McDonald's. Procter & Gamble, Nike. So the broad market is looking pretty good. In terms of the S&P 500, the strongest stocks are still tech stocks, NVIDIA and Xilinx, and I think that's going to cool off. And we're going to see Devon Energy, Dollar Tree, Ford, Diamondback Energy. I think those stocks will start leading the pack. Now, in terms of the bond market, we really didn't do much. We closed a little higher, but look at this volatility. We went from 155 to 148 in 4 days, and we've been short. Unfortunately, we took a big dump, but we're still in it, and I think we're going to cool off and go all the way down to the 144, 145, 146-ish level. So I am still fairly bearish. I'm actually pretty bearish on bonds and bullish on stocks, but I think we're going to see some sector rotations. in light of everything we're talking about today, look at the put to call ratio. We went grossly exuberant to the put side, then we went exuberant to the call side, and now we're kind of mixed. And I think we're going to be just kind of choppy because it's Friday. Again, there's less liquidity volatility. The CPI will be impactful, but we're not really directional right now. The market is random in terms of the put to call ratio, so I'm not going to make too much out of it. We want to see it when it's above this line. This is when the market gets too this is when the market gets way too bearish, and this is when the market gets too bullish. So we pulled off yesterday, but I think we're going to just kind of sit and wait. Volatility continues to move lower, even though the market gyrated yesterday against us. I think VIX will continue moving lower into the 17, 18 level. There's just not much volatility right now. Looking at the global economy, not much that you guys don't know about, but I'll just give it a review. The markets were down. Global markets were down overnight, but right now, they're actually looking pretty good. Their tech is looking good. S&P, that Dow is looking pretty good. The S&P is looking good. Even the Russell is looking pretty good. So I'm liking how things are looking right now. Fed officials due to speak next week have plans to wind down bond purchases and other stimulus that's boosting stock prices, might accelerate if necessary to cool inflation that hit a 30-year high in October. A 30-year high. And unemployment claims are at a 52-week low. So inflation, 30-year rise, unemployment, 52-year low. Something's just not right with that picture. Tech stocks and a mix of retailers and other companies that rely on consumer spending, consumer discretionary, weight the most on the S&P. This is what I was trying to show you. Where am I here? That's what I was trying to show you when I showed you the 11 sectors and how energy is taking over consumer discretionary. This is the sector we're talking about. Sorry, I'm going back and forth, but I'm doing this because I want you guys to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Tesla, Nvidia, look for these stocks to cool off. These stocks need to cool off too much too fast, especially if the Fed takes action next week. If they don't take action next week, we should be okay. Labor Department reported the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits plunged last week to a 52-year low. Lowest level in 52 years, and inflation is the highest level in 30 years. Thank you, Fed. You guys are just doing a horrible job. 30-year inflation, unemployment 52-year low. Folks, we're behind the ball. This we should have prevented. I mean, with unemployment claims being this low, we should have started raising rates a while ago. But again, let's talk about a trade we took this week that was profitable. We waited for a pullback. By the way, this is one of my pullback trades. Notice pullbacks. I did a session on pullbacks yesterday and constructing dips, and this was one of them. The main trend was higher. The RSI was oversold. We got in right here on the first, right here. We got in at 2770, and we got out just a few days later on the 7th. It was, I believe, a weekend. We got out at 36. Not bad, right? In at, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong, I'm looking at, sorry guys, the option price, sorry. The option price here was 2770, and we got out at 36 right here on the 7th for a 29.96% gain. Almost 30% gain, but it was only 6 days, and that included weekends. So in right here, out right there, and the asset hasn't moved since that time. And again, RSI, very, very similar to what I was showing you guys the other day. Now, what we can expect next week. Next week, I'm expecting consumer discretionary stocks to possibly start cooling off a little bit, and technology stocks to follow suit. Now, this is really high up, so there's going to be a little, we may see some choppiness. But again, keep your eye on consumer discretionary and tech because they're the most impacted by the bond market. I'm also expecting the Fed to take action, take their foot off the gas pedal, withdraw their foot from the gas pedal, and for the bond market to go lower, because if they're withdrawing the bond purchases, bonds would go lower and interest rates would go higher. What a concept. So that's what I'm looking for next week. And again, keep your eye today on the CPI and consumer sentiment. Very, very important reports. Now, before I let you go for the weekend, I've got something for you. Many traders, folks, I know that many traders are struggling with recent market volatility. That's why I hosted a free bootcamp Thursday, covering some amazing information for anyone wanting to improve their trading skills. And I talked about how to make money on pullbacks extensively for like 90 minutes, and people loved it. That's why I hosted free bootcamp. We went over things like how to identify high probability and low risk entry points, how to identify and measure the strength of the main trend, how to measure the strength with the short-term trend with 3 different indicators, how to determine if the main trend, if the short-term trend is outweighing the main trend, how to figure out and how to modify your indicators to work with the stock market, how options can give you 11 times more highly targeted gains, what implied volatility is, how implied volatility can help you with pullbacks, how to use volatility stops and ATR. I think you're getting the point. It was in depth, no fluff, zero fluff. Matter of fact, I stopped after an hour and I asked everyone if they wanted me to continue, and it was an unequivocal please, yes. So I want you guys to check it out, and you'll be able to learn exactly how we traded that URI trade and got almost 30% on it in 7 days, including Saturday and Sunday. So 5 trading sessions. Again, how to identify high probability, low risk entries, how to scan stocks, how to identify the main trend, how to avoid specific sectors. Does it work to the downside, to the upside? How far to go on options? And I answered every question. There was no stone unturned. It was the best response and the best stick rate of any webinar we've had, probably in as far back as I can remember. Follow the link below, check it out. There's really no catch. And if you guys enjoyed it, send me an email, support@marketgeeks.com. It's free, there's no cost. The worst thing that'll happen is you'll become a better trader. What's the downside there? And I'll entertain you with my shenanigans for 90 minutes. Anyway, follow the link below, check out the video, and as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube. Stay ahead of this crazy market by following these videos. Next week, on Monday, we'll have the weekly outlook, biggest threats, biggest opportunities. Have a great, great weekend. I want to hear from you. I want to know what I could do to make your life better. Support@marketgeeks.com. Bye.